Well, we're better today than we were about a week ago. We've still got a long way to go. That's a 2 steps forward and 1 step back. It seems we very inexperienced team, mostly due to the fact that I guess we've got 4 or 5 veterans, and the rest are going to be playing their first time for us. And not all young. You know, we've got 2 junior college players, and the added issue with injuries and sickness. We've had a lot of that this fall, in the summer and the fall. The 2 freshmen, C.J. Kaiser and Austin Reeves, are battling the same injuries they've had that held them out all summer: a foot, and for C.J., and the shoulder for Austin. They're intermittently back in practice, and then they'll have a setback, so that's hurt their progress. But at least Austin's out there for the most part now. The junior college guys have been relatively healthy, and they're trying to pick up our system. Deshaun Smith and Darrell Willis. So with Peyton Allen dropping out of school about a month ago, that's the 4 newcomers, and we'll add them to the guys that have played some around here. And those guys were all, I would say, in complementary roles previously, and now they have to assume more prominent roles. So just depends on the day how they're doing with that transition. So, but we're grinding each and every day, and my goal is to just keep getting this group better. That's the theme. Try to find a way to get better each and every day.
Last time we talked, we asked about leadership, who's leading practices, and you kind of rattled off a few names that were trying. Has that changed since then? Has anyone stepped up?
I don't think we have captains established. Let's just say there's got to be more leadership. But again, none of these guys have ever been in that role here, so they've got to figure out when and how, and everybody's got their own leadership style. So it's a pretty quiet group. It's hard to get them to open their mouths, even in transition defense, much less to try to aid a teammate in need or whatever. They communicate better with their thumbs than their lips, but we're working on that.
How do you change that as a coach? How do you pull that out of somebody that's not naturally like that?
Just continually urge them, try to get them to be more vocal, and obviously leading by example is one way. Most of them are doing that. Most of the veterans are doing a pretty good job of that, but we need them to come along additionally and open their mouths and talk.
Greg, you have a long history of replacing point guards with quality point guards. You've done it as long as you've been here. You're replacing an iconic point guard this year. How's the point guard play been so far? Are you optimistic that you'll at least find players that are capable?
Well, I don't think that we're going to have a Fred Van Vliet type situation. He's as good as there's been around here, in my estimation. I mean, I didn't see them all. I didn't see the Black Pearl and Cal Bruton, and I didn't see Randy Burns. I didn't see way back in the day. I saw Randy Smithson play on television. I can't think of all the great point guards all the way back. Was Kelly Pete a point guard? I just know that Fred's as good as there's been around here, and from what I hear and what I at least what I know, and I think that it's going to be more by committee. It's going to be Deshaun Smith Connor Frankamp, Austin Reeves, if he's healthy. And then if I had to go further than that, I'd probably say Landry Shamet might get an opportunity to play some.
All four of those guys you mentioned, aren't they capable of playing multiple positions in the backcourt?
Deshaun is a pure point. He's not a two. The others can play. Landry's more of a 2-3 that could play the one in a pinch. Connor Frankamp is he's just a scorer. I don't know if he's a small two or a one that scores, but that's what he is. And then Austin Reeves is a one who, with his size, if he's healthy, can play the two. So those.
We take 2 steps forward. Who are some of the guys who've been kind of pushing that effort in the right direction?
It's not the effort. The effort's always there. It's just in terms of playing the game the right way. Defending as a unit, finishing the possession with a checkout and a rebound, getting in the right defense. We're throwing a lot at them right now because we did have the summer with 10 practices. We're a little ahead of where a lot of teams would be, but we're throwing a lot at them. So changing defenses, knowing what defense we're in, knowing what transition we're in, knowing what breakdown offense we're in. There's a lot to think about. Obviously we're not just rolling the balls out, but they've got to think and play, and some of them are doing that for the first time.
How much of that will improve over time, and how much of that do you need to switch immediately?
Well, we don't play until what is today, the 13th. We don't play until we have a scrimmage on the 29th, and we don't play an exhibition game until early November. So we've still got 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks before we have a scrimmage, and then 3 weeks before we have an exhibition game. It doesn't have to be right now, but hopefully by the time there's people in the stands, we'll be a little better than we are today, and continue to improve throughout the year.
Do you have a minutes per game kind of goal for Shaq? Maybe bump him up where he's playing 20 to 25?
That'd be nice. He conditioning wise, he's probably as good as he's been since he's been here. But then he starts gimping around on the knees when he goes too far or too hard or too long. He did have knee surgery over the summer or in the fall, spring. And then for whatever reason, he just, either when he gets tired or he loses focus, he'll create a situation where there's body contact, and generally he's the bigger body, and the other person is going to go flailing, and usually it's going to be a foul on him, and he hasn't figured that out yet. So maybe he's gotten a little better. I don't want to take that away from him, but that would be a nice goal for him. 22, 24 minutes would be nice.
How's Marcus look so far in practice?
Marcus has looked pretty good. I wouldn't be able to tell he had the meniscus surgery. Maybe you could. I haven't been able to see him. He says it's sore from time to time after he works out, and he has to ice it. I think that's just going to be the way it is. I've never had knee surgery, but he's looked good. He's obviously very talented and long. He's stronger. He has gained some weight. He's up to, I think, over 210 now, and gives us some flexibility with him at the 3 and the 4.
Has he added anything to his game that you've noticed?
No, I think he's, even though he was very young, I thought he had a lot of good components to his game last year. I haven't noticed him running out of bounds and catching the ball this year, so that's maybe he's added court geography is something that he's improved upon.
What are the attributes of the point guards you mentioned earlier that are different? How are they different, and what are their separate attributes?
Which one? The ours,
Yeah.
not the
Start with
former.
Deshaun.
Deshaun is he's quick, he's fast, he's explosive. My biggest thing with him is getting that into the game. It's one thing to have it; it's another thing to use it, and to your advantage. Pushing the brake as fast as you can while still being under control. Changing gears and changing speeds and accelerating when you make a move into the paint, and using that quickness and speed to be a real pest on the defensive end. That's what I've been urging him to do. Connor is, obviously a great shooter. Doesn't turn the ball over, but he also is very cautious with the ball. He doesn't go north-south a lot. It's more east-west. Where Fred would drive in there and flail in there and make a layup, Connor doesn't get to the paint as well. Deshaun's a little better at that. But Connor knows the system. He knows what we're doing for the most part, having played last semester, and nobody shoots it any better. Austin is, the youngest, and he's also been out there the least because of the shoulder injury in the summer and surgery. He is probably our best post passer because he's bigger, really sees the floor well. He's also the weakest because he, being a freshman and having a hard time lifting because of the shoulder surgery. But he's pretty athletic, and he can get to the basket, and he also can shoot it fairly well. So I think those would, and he's pretty tough for a young, thin freshman guard.
What would you say is the biggest strength of this team right now?
The biggest strength of this team is we have a lot of guys that can make a play at the end of the clock. We have a lot of guys that are talented and skillful enough to create a shot for themselves or a shot for some other player.
Sounds like Austin's making a good impression, even though he didn't do much over the summer. You surprised he's been able to progress at the pace he is?
Paul, we thought he was a good player. We wouldn't have recruited him. We just think he's, it's all about the injury with him. I really believe he's going to be a fine player in his career if he can minimize the time that he's out with these shoulder issues. And he's had his moments where he looked really good and ready to help us now, but then he'll be out for a couple days, and it's just a matter of him staying healthy and somehow getting stronger, because he is a good player.
Any idea when he could be game ready?
No, you'd have to ask the doctors and the trainer that. I really don't.
How about Darrell Willis? How's his progress coming since Canada?
Darrell's been good. Then he got sick for a couple of days and had a sore throat. I don't think it was strep, but it was a sore throat. And he was out for a couple of practices, and then when he comes back from sitting over on the side, even though I've seen this before, I've urged him to stay mentally engaged with practice. That's very difficult for him. I'll all of a sudden teach something, and then I'll turn to him and ask him, "Hey, what did we just call that?" And he will have no idea. So it's hard for him to focus while he's not participating, unfortunately. So once he got sick, he came back and he had 2 or 3 pretty poor days. But knowing him, I expect him to bounce back. He's pretty talented, and he's physically ready to play.
Several times these guys have mentioned they like being ranked #1 in Ken Pomeroy's defensive rating last year. They wanted to set that as
These guys?
the Wichita's, your players.
Okay, I don't think they could defend anything.
That, they're setting that that as a goal this year. Will be a different defensive team, but can it be, in that range, very effective?
I would hope so, Paul. I'm not sure. I mean, it's hard to improve on number one. So there's only one way to go, and that's down. It'd be nice if we could stay there. Based on the practices so far, I wouldn't say that's going to happen.
Good time for one more, and then get good baseball.
Anybody have a good one?
Moving along.
A real good one?
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, guys.